Hello students, this is Abdullah Nawaz. Really happy to see you all once more time in the Uplift Education virtual classroom. Right? So today the topic we are going to discuss is about the wave and their applications. Right? Before we are starting with going deep into the lesson, we start having an idea what is a wave is. Let me say there is a still water. Right? Maybe water in a vessel, maybe other water in the swimming pool. Let us take it as the water is in a rest condition. The water is in a rest. For this water in rest, what happens? Just imagine what happens. It will drop some sort of particle. Let me say a pebble or a small stone into this. Let me drop a pebble or a stone into the water. Right? Now you can imagine what will happen. The pebble will fall or somewhere here and it will start moving downward. Right? When a pebble is dropped from certain height, that will cause a disturbance on this point, but we know this disturbance is not restricted only to this point. We will observe from the point where the pebbles are fallen, we will observe the circular shape. The waves are propagating throughout the vessel, right? So we observe when it causes a disturbance at a particular point, we observe the disturbance is moving throughout the medium. Not only water, just imagine an example. I have tied a rope. Let me see. I have tied a rope on some sort of a stick, right? And using my hand, if I give a slight displacement up and down, let me say I have a stick something, I have tied a rope and I am giving a small disturbance by my hand up and down. I am moving it up, I move it down. What the observation we will have is the rope will get such a shape, right? Once the top region will come down, the region in the down will move up. We observe such kind of motion. That means I give a small disturbance only at one point and I observe that has caused a disturbance throughout the rope, right? So we call this the propagation of a disturbance, only we call this as a wave. Is that clear? Okay. So now we can understand, we understood what is a wave is. A wave is the propagation of a disturbance caused at one point to another point, right? Some important features of these waves are, let me consider a water wave. Let me say somewhere at this point, I keep a very small plastic object, something like a plastic ball or a plastic cup. This is my surface view. Let me consider my cross-sectional view. Let me say this is my water surface. I have kept the ball like this and the wave is resulted or a disturbance is resulted. Now even by yourself you can imagine what will happen to this ball. At certain level you will observe the ball is moving upward, at certain point the ball is moving downward. You will observe an oscillation of this ball moving up and downward. Is that clear? So what would be the reason for the ball to move up and down? Right? You get it out, right? So definitely when there is a movement of up, let me say the ball reaches certain height means, you know when a ball reaches certain height it will have a certain potential energy, right? The energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So from where would be this ball would have gained this energy? At certain level it goes down. That means it has released some energy, right? So how this ball gains energy and releases energy? What happens with this? Only the factor that passing through this ball was a wave, right? So what we can say about this wave? We can say the wave has a contribution of energy, or there is an involvement of energy in the waves. Is that clear? And another important feature that you have to consider is, like when we say that we keep a ball somewhere in the path of this wave traveling, we observe the ball is only moving upward and downward, right? That means the water particles also surrounding this ball also just moving up and downward. But we say the wave is traveling in a horizontal direction, and we can observe the movement of the particles. So the wave will be in this direction and the particles are moving somewhere in a perpendicular direction. So we can say for the propagation of waves, always do not cause the movement of these particles, or the movement of particles and the movement of waves are not always. Now you observe the waves that moves in a particular medium. When I consider the water, when a pebble dropped in the water, we observe a wave was traveling in water. So we say the medium of the wave was water. When I consider the wave resulted in the rope, there was a medium called rope, right? Not only rope and water are the medium. For example, if we consider the sound we hear, it also travels in air. So we say the sound energy travels in air. So air is the medium of sound energy. So water, rope, air, and there are different types of media that exist that contribute in the transmission of waves. But also we have to know waves always do not travel in media. When I consider a particular type of wave that is traveling from sun to earth, very special type is light and heat, and there are different types of waves are emitted from sun to right? And also we get a particular limited number of rays. Even if I consider light and heat, that also travel from sun to earth through the space. There are no medium. So we say these waves have the ability of traveling without even a medium. From this basic criteria, the waves that propagate through a medium and the waves that do not compulsorily need a media, we divide the waves into two types. One as the mechanical wave and the other one as the electromagnetic wave. Right? What do you understand by this mechanical wave is, now we say the wave or the water wave that when we drop the pebble in the water, the wave that is resulted in a string, the wave that results in air when we are talking sound, all these waves that compulsorily need a medium to travel. So we say the waves that compulsorily needs a medium to travel as mechanical waves, right? What is electromagnetic waves? So we say the light energy and the other energies that is comes from the sun, something like gamma rays, X-rays and so many other rays. These rays do not compulsorily require a medium. That's why we say that from the sun to earth up to the atmosphere of the earth, there's no such a medium. It's just a space, right? So these waves has even the ability to travel in space. So we call these media, these electromagnetic waves compulsorily do not need a medium for its propagation. So we classify it as electromagnetic waves, right? In today's session, we will be concentrating only on these mechanical waves, and we will be discussing about the electromagnetic waves in the next video. So now we extend our discussion under mechanical waves. So we say mechanical waves mean medium is compulsory necessary. Example, we consider the water wave where the water acts as a medium. The wave that travels in a rope, so we say the rope acts as the medium. Sound waves where the air acts as a medium, right? So we understand a medium is compulsory mean. For example, when I consider the pebbles when I dropped in a water, and when I keep a plastic ball or something, we observe the plastic ball moves up and down, right? That means what is the reason the ball has moved up and down means the water particle at that point had a movement, right? So we understand by this, there is an involvement of the particles of the medium along with these waves, right? So there are two directions, right? They are based on the direction of how this particle travel along with the energy or the waves. We divide the waves into two types. One as transverse wave, the other one as longitudinal waves, right? In the transverse wave, what we can observe is something like when I keep the ball and when I cause the disturbance in the water, we observe the ball is moving up and down, right? Let me take a slinky. A slinky is something like a spring-like coil structure. This is very commonly available in school laboratories. If you have seen, you are lucky, but unfortunately I don't have at this moment. So a slinky is something like a spring, or even something like some girls' bangles, plastic bangles. Some of you have seen it. Some girls wear it with a very long bangle, where is a continuous structure, something like a spring. Similarly, this is a slinky. The slinky, we call this slinky. This slinky is made up of a metal, right? We commonly, for the wave practicals, we do use this in our school laboratories, right? So using this slinky, we are going to separately study how the transverse waves and longitudinal waves differs, right? So what I am going to do is, in a flat surface, let me say in a table, I keep this slinky, okay, and I keep this attached to certain point, right? And what I do is, I give a small disturbance to this slinky in the horizontal way. So when I have a table like this, I keep this slinky and I give a small disturbance in the horizontal direction, right? So when I give this small disturbance, what happens is, this slinky will obtain a shape like this, right? But this will be not constant. The shape that I have drawn on top will come down, and the shape I have drawn on bottom will move up. Something like this, something like oscillating shape. This will keep moving. If my diagram is not that clear, you can have a look on your book. Page number 74 and 75, they have given how this slinky is moving, right? So we understand, and we call here, we understand, we gave a way disturbance at this point, and the disturbance has moved horizontally, but the movement of particles were up and down, right? So here in transverse wave, we call, if I consider this as my direction of wave, and the direction of particles were perpendicular to that, right? The direction of movement of particles were perpendicular to the direction of the wave. That is the reason we give a special term called transverse wave. In transverse wave, the direction of wave and the direction of the movement of particles of the medium are perpendicular to each other, right? So the transverse wave we represent using oscillating structure like this, right? So this will be our medium. In transverse wave, some other special property we can observe is, at certain point we can observe this particle has moved certain maximum displacement from a neutral level, right? From a certain maximum level, it has moved a certain maximum level. For this maximum level, we call this as what? Crest, right? And also we can observe particles has moved a maximum direction in the downward direction as well. This is the maximum direction, the maximum displacement that has moved in the downward direction. So with these maximum points in the downward direction, we call as troughs. We call as troughs, right? So we say transverse waves are waves that contains of crest and troughs. Even though I have drawn something like this is a graph that shows the motion of particle at one point along with time, right? So whenever I am asked to find the direction of finding the particles, what do I do is, I draw the wave, and I consider in which direction is this wave is propagating. Let me say the wave is propagating toward my right side. So if this is moving toward my right side, what I do is, I just slightly display the same wave toward right side and draw the same graph, something like this. Maybe I can say in a very short time. I can't just say 1 second because the waves are usually pass in a very quickly. So I say in a very short time, this wave would have a shift to right side, something like this much. So I can say the water particle displacement, the water particle on top might come to bottom. The particle at this point might be moving upward, right? So here this would have moved down. So now I can say the water particles from certain top has come bottom, from bottom will move toward up. So you can understand what would be the direction of these water particles by drawing these two waves. Okay. So now let's extend our discussion under longitudinal wave. In longitudinal waves also, we are going to use the same apparatus called slinky. What I do is I keep the slinky placed on a horizontal table and attached to one point. Now rather than giving a disturbance horizontally, I am going to give a horizontal in the same direction where the slinky is located. Something like this. Along the same direction as the slinky. Right? Now I am not going to do a perpendicular disturbance, in the same direction. What do I do is, sometimes the slinky will be moving forward, and at certain point the slinky will be moving outward. So slinky is moving forward and backward, forward and backwards. Something it will oscillate something like this. When the slinky is moving forward toward this fixed point, we will observe the length of this slinky will decrease. So what might be the reason for that? There will be some compression, right? So we will observe this compression will be based on certain point. There will be certain point from both the sides. The slinky will approach closer toward this point, and we will observe some dense region when the slinky is moving forward, right? And also when slinky is moving outward, we can say the slinky has stretched, right? Stretch means we will observe based on certain point. From in both the sides, the slinky, the rings has extended, right? So here we will observe as a dense structure or a dark strings. Here we will observe very transparent or with more space, right? So the dense structure with condensed, seems like a condensed. We call these condensed dense like structures as compression. And the structure where we seems like with more space or the extended structure, we give a special term called rarefaction. Similar to in transverse where how it associated with trough and crest, here the longitudinal wave is associated with compression and rarefaction. Okay, so these are the major difference between a transverse wave and a longitudinal wave. In a transverse wave, we say the particles of the medium travel perpendicular to the direction of wave travel. But when I consider the longitudinal wave, we say the wave travels toward the right side. That's why when I cause a disturbance at this point, it resulted in disturbance till the maximum point. So we can say the energy or the wave travel along this string. And we observe the particle also has the same direction as the direction of the wave travel. Right? So we say in longitudinal waves, the motion of the particles are same as in the direction of the wave. So that is a major difference that classifies transverse waves and the longitudinal waves. In transverse wave, the direction of particles of the medium and the wave are not same. In longitudinal waves, the direction of motion of particles and waves were same, right? Even here, if the direction of the particles and the direction of waves were same, we say particles do not move along with the wave. Okay? The reason is, even when I consider longitudinal wave, you observe the particle from here moves rightward, backward. Somehow at a certain point, it will reach its original position. Right? It do not travel along with the wave. Right? So we say the propagation of wave is not associated associated with the motion of the wave. Particles do not travel along with the wave, but there is an involvement of particles in the movement. Is that clear? Okay. So today we will end up our first session and hope to see you in the next session. We will have the remaining part. If you have any doubts or anything that you are not clear, you are free to use the comment section. Even suggestion and feedback also will come over.